We're live. Great, great, great. It's going to be a good evening tonight, guys. Tonight we have a very, very important podcast coming up. This podcast, of course, we have a special guest. This special guest, again, used to be a former mayor. He is 10-year tenure. His tenure was 10 years, right? So he's been there 10 years as the City of Eagle Pass mayor. Now we have him jumping into the arena for county judge. Now, why is this a big? Why is this election a big deal? The election that we have going on right now will be decided tomorrow, right? We have the election day. Early voting was upwards of 6,800. 6,800 people went out and did early voting. That is the largest amount of early voting votes that Maverick County has ever seen in an election. So it's very interesting to me to find out what would be the results, right? Or the election results tomorrow. So of course, we'll be there to bring you the live coverage of whenever they do give out the results. So make sure you join our Facebook page when we run that video. We'll be there live. We'll be there nice and early to try to capture some of the moments out there. Of course, whenever they announce the winners, try to get a little bit of an interview, something about how they feel and what it was, what it meant to them to run, and ultimately win if they do. Um, right now, we have again, we're going to be interviewing Ramsey English Cantu. He is the candidate for Maverick County judge. Now, we have two Democrats, as many of you guys know, that are running for Maverick County judge. We have Ramsey English Cantu and the person currently there, Salcedo. They are right now, it's kind of funny because today's, pre-election night. Um, we have election night, a night coming up tomorrow. So you have everybody in some sort of planning stages. Hey, election day is coming. Who do we have? Who hasn't voted yet? So everybody's kind of scrambling around, um, um, trying to get those final votes needed for an election day today. And that's why we appreciate the time that Rams English Cantu is going to be giving us to answer some questions, to conversate a little bit with the crowd again. Now, we did just recently attempt to interview Salcedo at the Maverick County, at the election site. That didn't go too very well for us, and we weren't able to get any kind of response other than some kind of accusation that we were or that I was under investigation. Which I mean, that was news to me. Breaking news right there, right from Salcedo. Um, I have never been contacted on any of that, but what is going on right now? The fact is that we have a key moment in Maverick County at this moment, and it is important that if we have not voted, it's time to get out and vote. And whenever you don't take advantage of that, it's kind of like, I kind of want to put some people that may complain and don't go out and vote. I mean, you shouldn't be able to. You're supposed to be able to, not worry about the what lies ahead, the voting, taking time to get to know the constituents. And I think that's a big key here, especially between the two candidates. I mean, on one hand, you may have a approachable, county judge, and right now what we have, and in Salcedo, I mean, it's pretty much what you see is what you get. And I think nothing could be more evident than the attempt of getting an interview with him that was, nearly impossible. And the thing is, when you're an elected official, and this is what I would expect from every elected official, you get elected by the public. When you get elected by the public, you need to be able to be there for the public. I mean, whether it's your contributor, campaign contributor, or if it's just everyday John Doe out here paying bills, paying taxes. As an elected official, it is expected for you to be approachable. You're expected to be the person that, you know, maybe you can't solve every problem directly when it comes to you, but as a leader, as a county judge, you should be able to point the person in the right direction or direct somebody to be able to do that, and that's what it comes down to right now is that do we have an approachable judge that works for the people? And I know that we get a lot of there's uh, billboard signs and everything with Salcedo's name on it, saying he works for the people, and that's in theory and in spoken um, word. You get a sense that um, if you ever have dealt with him before, that is just a statement that is a total. I would say not even a lie. I don't know if a lie can be if that can be considered a lie because at times I do believe that he actually believes what he is doing is right, and that's just a whole nother rabbit hole issue that we don't want to go into right now. But we are currently waiting for Ramsey to show up, and our show we have confirmation he has been sent a link, so he'll should be popping on pretty soon. I appreciate you guys hopping on the show as quickly as possible and staying here for we're gonna have a what is the last podcast before you go out and elect a new county judge. Well, technically, it's not a new county judge yet because we do have a Republican that will be running for county judge as well. So that would probably take place around November. We're going to look forward to that soon. Um, uh, just real quick, guys, I have something that popped out here and it kind of caught my attention while we are waiting. Hmm, there you go. We have the friend of a show, Rodolfo Banda, top secret information. Salcedo had a meeting with all the county employees and told them bring votes tomorrow or they will get fired. The meeting was held today at 5 p.m. by the old hospital. Now that right there isn't something that we haven't heard before or it's something new. We've been hearing these allegations and right now since we do not have any actual proof of it, there is that's what they are, and their allegations right now. I mean, to me, if that statement is true, then I think it is time to admit that somebody might be a little worried coming up on election day, and hmm, nobody can, whenever you work for an entity, anything like that, nobody can tell you who to vote for, what to vote for, or if you get fired for any of those type of things and you do have proof that that is the reason why you got fired, then I mean, guys, that's, you are given the right to vote for whoever it is you choose. Nobody should be able to, nobody should be allowed to intimidate you into voting into somebody you don't want, or to not give yourself n- not to give yourself enough time to look into these things, into these candidates, because it's very important. And that's the reason why we try to reach out to as many candidates as we can, and we try to accommodate. Not every time we can that we can sit down with a candidate or with a mayor or with a councilman, councilwoman, and get to know them a little bit, because I feel that in the course of our lives, we kind of tend to not look into who our candidates are that are running for office, especially here locally. Of course, it's a little difficult whenever you get into state and national wide politics, but here locally, you want a sense of knowing who you're voting for. You want a sense of, where's this guy coming from? Is he, is it a guy that I grew up with? Is it somebody I know? How were their values growing up? How are their values now? And it, I guess nowadays elections. Wait a minute, guys. We have a follow up to what we from Mr. Banda. The statement is true. I do have at least two persons that can say it. They got fired in the last elections because they didn't bring the 30 votes they had asked for. Oh wow. I mean, guys, you're seeing this live right now. He's Debbie. We have a total of just over 6,800, 6,800. So it's, again, guys, I will say that it is a record breaking amount of votes. Voters came out in record breaking numbers in Maverick County. That's 68, a little over 68,000. And that's a pretty impressive thing. I will say it's nowhere near it where it should be compared to the actual voters, registered voters here in Maverick County. But it is getting better, guys. People are getting up out of their houses and going out to vote. See, we got another one coming in from Mr. Earl Herring. Salcedo works for himself under a cloak of dishonesty and threats that I have personally witnessed over more than 5 years. No transparency, never has been, and never will be. That's coming from a respected attorney here locally in town, Mr. Herring. That's a very good statement. That's a very good point he is making. There's been a lot of inconsistencies with the county administration, not just as of late, but going back years. I mean, we have one of the most respected members of community, Mr. Earl Herring, and he's telling us it's been more over 5 years that he personally has witnessed these sort of antics that we have become familiar with. If you just watch their commissioners' court meetings, that's a spectacle in itself. You can almost tune into any of the meetings being broadcast through Facebook, and you will see some of these antics that we have seen. The judge, the way he conducts himself, and it's unfortunate that that's our figure at this moment. So, guys, we our official. We have Mr. Ramsey English Cantu waiting in the back, so we are going to bring him on, guys. Mr. Ramsey English Cantu, candidate for Maverick County judge.
How are y'all doing?
How's it going? How's it going?
It's going well. It's going well. We've been a little busy today. We've had some last minute events that kind of came up in the calendar for the campaign, and I just running a little bit here and making sure that we can make it on time. Like about 18 minutes, but nonetheless, we're here and we're very appreciative to be back on your show. I think what is this, round 3, round 4, round
We're
5? Who knows?
we're up there in rounds, yeah. You can call it a championship bout, then, right?
That's
The
what it is. That's what
round.
it is. We are the champions after all, right? Huh?
Yeah, yeah. Now let's get straight to it. Since you already kind of mentioned that you were taking care of some last minute events and everything, and that's what we want to kind of start off with. Is that how's it looking? How many? You've seen the votes come in. We said over 6,800, I believe. Um,
Mhm.
what do you think that means? Because obviously we do have a new large turnout that we never seen here in Maverick County. What is that indication telling you?
Well, I think above all, it's an indication of change that's wanted in Maverick County. When we look at the other numbers of comparisons to other years, the numbers have definitely surpassed. We're seeing that there are people who want to assure that there is an opportunity to bring new ways of thinking, new vision, new planning concepts for Maverick County. And I think that, it is what we are seeing during this process. It's what we have seen during the campaign trail. During my time walking the neighborhoods of Eagle Pass, the colonias of Maverick County, El Indio, Quemado, and Normandy, all seeing that hunger for change. And that is something that, I think that is most important in this process, because you're seeing people who are energized, who are enthused, who want to give that opportunity to someone new to bring a sense of good change, or as they would say, good trouble for Maverick County. This is really what we need to be focusing on. And I think that the indication of the voter numbers are truly one that we should all be proud of as citizens, of the people who are coming out. Families and drives are coming out, together to come out and vote. And I think that it's a great thing. And I'm very proud of my community for doing so, for standing up towards, the political mafia that we've had for many years here in Eagle Pass and Maverick County. And I think that we're ready to take on a new sense of leadership, a new sense of guidance, and a for our community. So we'll continue doing that, and I'm sure that we will continue to see that tomorrow on Election Day, with people coming out, to vote specifically.
Awesome, awesome. That sounds good. That sounds good. Now, one of the shifts that I kind of wanted to focus on, especially today, was that with your opponent, he's been hammering on this tax issue with you, claiming that you bankrupt the city,
Mm-hmm.
claiming that you left them in the red, and that Maverick County can't afford to go through all that. And that I believe has been his strongest message to the public of anti don't vote for Ramsey type of campaign that he's trying to run. And one thing I do know from my time with the city is that the bond rating that the city has currently, it wasn't anything that was overnight.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. So I want to get your feedback as far as how that goes. I mean, if I'm a constituent asking, hey, Salcedo is saying that you're leaving us in the red, or if you come over here to the county, you'll leave us in the red. You will not. You'll higher taxes, raise taxes. What would your answer be to the constituent whenever they question about that?
Yeah. Well, I think that as we've discussed the topic on several times, covering this issue in different media sources, different campaign ads, covering this topic. The issue, obviously, with David is that he tries to make a huge thing out of an issue that was a large investment for this community. And when I came on board as the mayor of the city of Eagle Pass, we were looking at a bond rating that was good, wasn't great, but it was something that was a mission of mine to make sure, one, that we could alleviate debt in the city, but two, that we could improve our bond rating so that in the future we could have opportunities not only for the council in which I was serving, but the future councils and future mayors would have those opportunities to bring a sense of investment while going out for bonds. And let's all be realistic here, okay? Right now, if I would like to redo any portion of our home, sometimes it is not exactly feasible. Okay,
Mhm.
there's not a some within budget. You have to at times. You know what? I'm going to take out a small home loan, as they say, from the bank, and make some adjustments, make some changes. If there's issues, with the roof leaks or whatever, we need to invest, because if we don't invest, our home will begin to collapse with time. And that was the same as you look at it, and when you compare it to a home versus a city versus a business, you have to look at it from an entire standpoint of how everything is being looked at. And this is where, I took this sense of being an individual who has been part of the family, who has, through our family businesses, through the efforts of, the work that I had done with the law firm and the business sector. It was something that for me was very clear to see. How can we make sure that, one, first, we will be in a safe position to go out for monies at a later point, but also in the meantime, trying to alleviate debt. And what my opponent doesn't seem to also realize is that during the time that I was in office, I alleviated over $28 million in bridge debt, which was owed for the construction of the International Bridge 2. And
Mhm.
that was built, as you all know, it's our newest bridge. We had to cover a lot of debt on that, but I wanted to take that debt out of the city completely, because it was the intention of the finance department, the intention of the administrative and governmental leadership, to make sure that we could alleviate that debt and utilize and go out for revenue bonds, which are totally different from tax revenue bonds. Those revenue bonds are something that basically just come out directly, that will be able to draw money from the bridge revenue system. So when you look at the bridge revenues, every time you cross, everything that we did in the last phase of my career as mayor, we did with the intention of making sure that the bridge revenue would be able to cover that debt. So from the sports complex to projects like the public safety complex, to projects that encompassed a portion of the gymnasium, a portion of parks that were renovated. A lot of that came out of what I called, of course, the smart finance refinancing, and of course, smart financing of the the way that we structured our finance plan for the year's plan. When I came on, and I was very proud of the fact that when I came on the very first week of being in office in 2010 as mayor, I worked to come up with a plan as a council member, and as I was transitioning into the mayor's seat, we had already been working on a plan to construct what was a 7-year plan for roads to be reconstructed in our city. It was a very aggressive plan. Worked with a great public works department that made sure that we could come up with it and tackle those issues. And that was the very first series of bonds that we went out for. But mind you, at the time that I came into office, there was a huge demand. They needed to fix those issues. There was potholes everywhere. I mean, we were seeing concerns from a lot of residents. That was the first thing that, people like, Mrs. Flores or Mrs. Hernandez in any sector of town was
Mhm.
concerned about when it's in their neighborhood. So we formulated these plans, we got these together, but we more than anything sat down at the inception of my tenure as mayor and made sure that we could plan long-term financing and plan how we were going to break this up into so many years. Now, mind you, I was only planning for the first 3 years of my time in office, and I was hopeful that I would become reelected, at least, getting part and getting those streets repaired, and showing people, that I was committed to Eagle Pass and I was committed to getting projects done and finding ways to do it in a smart way. And this is something that I was very firm with our staff to make sure that we could accomplish that. So as we accomplished all of those goals and as we accomplished, making sure that there was a smart finance plan in place, we were able to accomplish a lot. And we were able to do what the citizens of this community wanted. And then some, you know. And that is why, when you look at Maverick County and you see how Maverick County is being run, and you see how the leadership has left these colonias, has left the safety concerns to basically the dogs, it is not something that is going to change under the leadership of 4 more years of David.
Mm.
Things will not change with him. Things will remain the same, and things will continue to remain the same if there is a majority left on the commissioner's court. So we need to make sure that as citizens that we make a right decision in bringing forth leadership that will formulate plans of action and that will formulate a way for us to move this county forward, get past the political craziness that we all have seen and the political favors that we have all lived, and remember that there are greater things that to come to Maverick County. To those people, who are out there, um, that have had to see their children leave this community because there isn't a job for them, specifically to any particular area.
Mm.
Well, think about it this way. If you continue to elect David to office, there will never be a job for those people because he's just going to keep on electing his buddies and his cronies and his family members. And unfortunately, things will never change. And that's why we need to put our foot down as citizens in this community and demand transparency, demand a sense of work to move forward this community and this county. Because if we can't, things are just going to remain stagnant and it will definitely never change the things that are being seen in Maverick County.
Absolutely. We were looking into the actual, the census data
Mm-hmm.
because Salcedo says that he has improved our county so much, and we wanted to find, if he's telling the truth or whatever. So we actually try to hit the numbers, look into the census. The 2010 census was when he came in, compared to the 2020, which just got released not too long ago. Now, we were rated as one of the poorest counties in that census. Can you tell us what we're rated now as per the 10 years later 2020 census?
We remain the poorest county in Texas. And there was, I believe it just came out recently, just as we were looking at this situation. I was looking at it. It was published, of course, in our local newspapers, where we came out rated as the poorest county in Texas. It is a disappointment. And, heck, if you were to ask, Siri on your phones, that might be a way to even confirm it. It probably, it will more than likely give you that answer. But I believe that, it's disappointing that people like David wish to just leave the county as it is and not help people get out of the situation that everyone is living. And you have some people who are fortunate enough to have the jobs that they have, and then you have other people who have struggled, who work to make ends meet. Um, I mean, and just like, my opponent has come out and said, oh, he's an individual who's had a silver spoon in his mouth for his entire life and was born in a golden crib and all of this. Let me be very honest with you. I've worked, and I've worked hard. I've worked hard with my family. I've worked hard in my professional career in the legal community alongside, the law firm of which where I worked. I worked for the state. I have worked hard for the people of this community. And it has been my honor. But more than anything, it is disappointing when you see people like David coming out and talking about, oh, this and this, and saying things about me when intentionally the issue there with him is that he tries to paint a picture and tries to insult, he shouldn't insult the intelligence of the people of this community when he's over there saying, I've had to go work in flea markets and bring, opportunities for, for my family and to bring and to make ends meet. Oh, well, let me tell you, no people, no people who are working in flea markets are purchasing a Mercedes, are purchasing a Denali truck, are purchasing a BMW SUV. He's got over $168,000 in vehicles. And unfortunately, he tries to make the citizens of this community just think that everything's okay. No trates de darme a tole con el dedo. It's a saying in Spanish. And that's something that as a community, we should not, we should not allow for people like him to remain in office and to try to insult the intelligence of the people of this community. People have worked hard. We all have worked hard. And times have been tough. And just like my family, too, we all have had tough times. We've had difficult times, whether it's been financial, whether it's been issues of political attacks, whatever it may have been. But we have survived. And only the strong survive. And I plan on being one hell of a survivor tomorrow, March 1st. Let me tell you. There are people, that we look at, and that right now, you with going back and looking at the situation, with Maverick County, you got people who are earning $60,000 who don't even have a GED. And not that there's anything wrong with it, but you know what? Show me that you're actually working for that. And those are the people who are a burden on Maverick County and who are taking away good projects from our community while people of these colonias have had to live without. And right now, what we need is to have somebody that is going to be a fighter, that is going to bring those opportunities back, to bring opportunities of projects, of investments, whatever it may be. But we need to address those issues that people are living without right now. And with David there, things are just going to remain the same. And I hate to say it this way, but the only thing that David Salcedo is good for is giving out papas and melones, because that's about all he's done in his entire career. And I'm glad he's at least given people food, because you know what? The jobs that people need are the jobs that people have there in Maverick County that he has taken away from good people in this community to give to his political cronies. And that, my friend, is wrong. It is a shame, and it is despicable to think that David thinks that he's going to get away with this. He's not. There's much more to come with this. And this is an issue that will open up much more. But those people that are in office, they know who they are. Those people are actually out there campaigning with him. They're the ones holding those signs and taking people to vote. Things will never change with people like that in office. And hopefully, I know that with the community and the support of this great county, we're going to be able to see some good things happen, this coming year.
I mean, I think that's what our community is looking forward to. I mean, I kind of stick with that I, idea that if more people are coming in bigger amounts than previous years, it's a wise man once said is that people go whenever they want. They go and vote out whenever they want to change. We may not be seeing as many voters out if they're okay with the things there are. They can kind of get by.
Yep.
But one thing you did mention was Salcedo's vehicles, and he's out there in the flea markets, trying to make the perception that he's out there trying to make a living and what have you. We actually wanted to bring this up right quick. If you give us an opportunity, this is actually the county, the Salcedo's budget, right?
Mm.
So I wanted to kind of walk this through you. I mean, the Yum Yum Tree did a one very awesome job in showing us what was what.
Hmm.
Now, if you take a look at this, you will see how much he's actually receiving as far as payment. We have him as an elected official is getting about 50,000. So then you got a juvenile board as well, which he gets paid 13,000, right?
Correct.
So then we also have, if you keep on going down, not only that, but he gets an in-county car allowance, and the total a year for that is 37,500. Now, isn't that? I mean, could he really be getting a car every year with those 37,000? I mean, theoretically speaking.
Well, he has definitely shown that he's got some good taste in cars, if anything. I'll tell you that I've had my car for 7 years. Okay. And that's been something and one, because at times I can be a little bit stingy, when it comes to money. But nonetheless, I think that, when you have a car and it's working, but this
Mhm.
is an individual who changes cars more than probably he changes socks, you know? And that's the thing that we should all be looking at. I mean, es un vicio que tiene. And these are things that are just horrible. The allowance, the car allowance, it's crazy.
Mhm. Cell phone allowance as well, another
6,000.
6,000. And when we go down here, we see something a little weird, which goes to professional services and attorney fees, professional services. So that's double the attorneys, or how would you read that?
The attorney's fees and professional services. So basically, you see there where, of course, they have contingencies, and from those contingency funds that you're seeing there, that's where Mijito was able to get his 100 and plus for his little baile that he had at the Maverick County Lake. You see, his budget is very much padded, and it's padded to his liking, and it's padded to do things that are to his benefit. So there, within contingencies, he can take money out of there. He's got over $962,250 dollars, I believe, is what I'm seeing there.
Mhm.
That is on his budget for contingencies. Almost $1 million that he can do whatever he wants with. Okay. And then his attorney's fees and professional services, you have those set aside there, for which are the basic retainer is what they have that they're paying good old Woody Wilson. So that's an amount right there that you see, the 75,727, which is just the retainer. Okay. And then you add on to the fees that they're paying him for additional for specific cases that he's doing serving as general counsel. So he can move from contingencies and he can do whatever he wants with that contingency fund. I'm glad that you put this up here because this is really helping to understand, and to paint a picture here.
Mhm.
But there is a lot of issues that rely on this and that leaves no sense of transparency within the budget. I can tell you that when I was at City Hall, and if you were to look at our budgets over there, when you looked at contingencies or professional services, there were line items that broke them down into certain areas, whether it was legal, whether it was architectural, whether it was engineering, whatever it is. But here, when you look at contingencies, it's just a free for all for David. So David wants to come out and try to basically say all of these things about
Mhm.
me, but I'm not the one sitting with a $1 million budget to do whatever I want. Okay, those are the things that we should all be looking at as residents, and those are the things that technically will make Maverick County go further in the hole than what it already is. And as he has said in the past, he has relieved debt from the county. Yes, he did. He relieved debt from the county when he lost Gio. Let's not all forget that. almost half a million dollars. I'm sorry, almost $50 million that he lost in the direct services from Geo, from the financial return, the administration, and of course, most importantly, the real estate of the entire property and its its building and everything. I mean, everything was lost. So if not, the county would have had $100 million in debt, same as always. But what David doesn't seem to understand, and that he tries to paint this picture that everything's great and he's worked to bring everything down, David has just simply painted a picture that he wants to show. Reality is in the numbers. Numbers never lie.
Mhm.
David does, though, however. And let's not forget that. Tomorrow at the ballot box, remind him and fill in a little bubble that's going to bring that change, because this budget here is truly something that we should all be concerned with, and almost over the $1 million that he's just got a free for all in anything he wants, whether it's a dance at the lake or whether it's paying $80,000 to a band. um, who knows? Maybe 151st celebration is going to come up next year, and they'll pay another 180,000, and then all of a sudden, his political crony, who's his watcher, will get another percentage of the check for what they're doing, and then he'll turn around and give him his percentage. That's how all of them work that way. And I'm sorry, but this is not something that is not has been hidden from the community. The community knows. The only thing is that we need to make sure that as we know what is going on, we go out in drives to send a clear message that this will not be tolerated anymore. It's gotten out of hand. It is a slap in the face to the residents of this community. And unfortunately, we have some people who are in office. I'm not only running, obviously, uh, against David. I've got two commissioners apparently that are running against me too. And hey, that's their deal. If they want to do that, know that if they're going to be there, and God willing, we're there on January 1st, 2023. I'll work with the people that are there. But know that those people that are out there working against me, they're obviously not there for the people. They're there for themselves. They're there for their interest groups. They're there to basically just do for David, and to do, well, I could say something, but I better just refrain from making any other comments on that. But they are there for themselves, and it's unfortunate that our community has had to live without a lot, because of this. And if he has $1 million in contingencies, well, you know what? Why don't you go fix Rosita Valley Road? You know,
Yeah.
there's the answer to people in precinct 2, que no los tratan de engañar cuando dicen que no hay dinero. Ahí está el dinero, casi $1 million, que no me tratan de decir de que no tienen. It is disappointing, because there are ways to do everything. There's ways to find the funding mechanisms, the strategy to fund these projects. Whether it's on a yearly basis, you break it up, onto 4 years and you complete the project. But stop lying to the people. Stop lying to the people is the most important thing.
Absolutely. And I mean, if you still look through the budget, you still have another item for mileage, another
Yeah.
10,500. And we here through this budget learned that he will be getting a new secretary as well. There's budgeted secretary there. It wasn't budgeted before, it's budgeted now at around, I think that says 80,000.
I wonder who that secretary could be. Well, I mean, if we have individuals making $81,000 and that individual isn't even doing anything, well, I mean, we know what they're doing. But nonetheless, I think that we all need to realize that it is important for us to be aware of the concerns that are out there on the budget, and how, we do, what we do in order to bring, um, people that are going to be fair in this case. The secretary of 80,000, it is something that is, you know, that's That's an interesting secretary. Hey, where can we all apply for that job? Is it going to be open for appointment? Are they going to
My
have an open enrollment, for that position? Or is it going to be something that's going to be directly given to someone on March 2nd? Because that's how they work.
Well,
So,
see, I was already gonna set up one thing that to show everybody here, and you just like ran into the next one that I was gonna bring out after that. But I mean, we'll go ahead and bring it up real quick. And what we have here is, speaking of the $81 million employee, we have a check here, and this is what we got through a records request. Now, when I worked at the county, I was the grant director for the sheriff's office. From there, I was asked to assist as the interim planning director to take care of some local work. Now, I thought that the person where that's spoken about was no longer with the county, but they were still getting paid while they were out of town. And what we were able to do is request these checks through open records. And as you can see, what was going on is that she was only getting paid $100 for cell phone throughout that time that they weren't here. Looking through records, looking through, different stuff that we've been able to track down, that she was actually attending school, college in San Antonio. All the while, she was still getting paid a cell phone allowance by Maverick County. Now, is these the type of things that the people can expect, maybe, or not expect, but that is going to stop happening if you're voted county judge?
well, let me tell you that if I when I am elected as the next county judge, we will not have an $81,000 notary public. I'll tell you that much, because that's exactly what I'm seeing when I look at these types of situations. And that's where we cannot allow for tax dollars to be utilized like that. This, and you're bringing up this individual here on the particular based on this check stub. And I think that when we look at those types of situations, everything is open records. Everything is publicly known, to discuss these issues and to bring the topics up of conversations, because when you're an elected official, and you make decisions to give salaries to people at these
Mhm.
amounts, those people are making salaries from public funds. Everything is open game on that, and they're all questionable expenses, questionable salaries, questionable responsibilities that come with it. And I can tell you, I can guarantee you that when elected, day one, there will be a complete evaluation of what is to be seen, not only on the issue the of what we've seen and it's not to go after anyone. It's just simply to assure that money is being utilized correctly and efficiently. I think that that's what anybody would want from their elected officials, in order to make sure that they're doing their job and they're bringing change, they're bringing fairness. And when you see people who are making $81,000 versus another individual who is doing much more in work, and they're getting paid 40, is it fair? Does it provide a good work morale? Does it provide a good work environment? And if anything, at the city of Eagle Pass, I can tell you, that's the one thing that I worked hard on, was bringing morale and employees to the citizens of this community, and to making sure that if the employees were happy, the productivity was going to be seen with more for the residents of this community. And that was my concern. We worked on raising salaries. We worked on bringing fair, equitable, job descriptions across the board. And that's where, we focused on when I was at the city. But when I look at this and I see the situation of the county, it's disappointing. It's disappointing because they have simply based themselves on the people who are closest to them and how they get their salaries, how they determine their amounts, how they determine their benefits. Um, and it's unfortunate, it's unfortunate. I don't like calling out on any one employee. I don't believe in doing that. I think that this one employee has definitely been questioned many times. by many people, many sources. Um, and I'm not here to, personally discuss on that matter. I respect the employees. I won't comment further because I further respect, the judge's family. I will not go into that because I do believe that there is more to this when it comes to how salaries are being given. We should not base ourselves on high salaries based on close relationships or how these people are um, pretty much doing what a official wants them to do. It should be based on work. It should be based on productivity, and that's how I've worked, and that's what I plan to bring to Maverick County. These things of these salaries, believe me, there will be a day when this will come to an end, and we will assure that the people of this community see the change of how there will be fairness and equitability um, established once again in Maverick County. And this is in every department. This is not just in one or two. This is across the board. We need to make sure that that happens because it's not fair. Right now I see so many people that are seeing, issues on a certain employee who makes crazy amount of money for being just a laborer. And that person, you know, um, unfortunately, very close to the judge. The judge recently magistrated him for a family violence issue, was taken out. And as I look at those issues and I see the type of people that are behind the judge and the type of people that the judge has associated himself with, is
Hmm.
disappointing, and it leaves no sense of integrity or honesty into this court system. And people can say what they want. His supporters can say what they want about me. I'm not here to be liked by them. I'm here simply to point out the facts and to make sure that people know what is going on in Maverick County. I would love, to sit here and, as I've done it before, to give my plan of action of what I'm going to do. But sometimes people need to be reminded. And people also need to be reminded that I have been personally attacked by the judge, by his people. And if the community thinks that I'm just going to sit back and take it, well, I'm sorry. I've never been one to not fight back. Porque cuando vienen los trancazos, you better believe that I'm going to fight back. And I could come out with a lot of things. I could have attacked the judge's family and I could have attacked, his mother just like he has attacked mine. But you know what? I'm better than that. I'm better than that. When they go high, when they go low, I've always gone high. And that's been in any race that I've run. People behind me, I've tried to maintain, of course, people and keeping everyone in control with making sure that they don't lose it, because the campaign, people who are even within the campaign, I try to make sure that everybody keeps himself as professional as can be, because this campaign is a reflection of what Maverick County is going to be in a year. This campaign is a reflection of how we are going to change things, and we're going to take things to a whole other level for our citizens. Esos días de antes ya se terminaron. David Salcedo can cry on all his live video feeds for all he wants, and I could care less. He has spoken lies after lies after lies. And people can see that. It is a sense, and me da lástima, I should say. Me da lástima de verlo. I mean, basically, all I'm waiting is to see a tear come down his eye, because it is as if he has been beaten like a dog on the side of a street by the worst person in the world to just basically take them. And he continues to just come out with more lies and more lies and more lies. If he would focus on what he has accomplished and what he has done for Maverick County, I could give him more respect. But unfortunately, that man and his entire campaign, I have lost complete respect for them for the simple fact of how they have ran the situation. It is a disappointment. But I look forward that, the day that we are given the opportunity to serve you, that we will have a form of peaceful, transition and move forward. God willing, we make it past here and we make it past November. We're ready, to make the changes that need to be done for this county, because there is just so much. Um, so much that we have dealt with, so much that we have had to counter. But nonetheless, I've kept it very professional. I've kept it with the sense of making sure that people knew my position as professionally as possible, and um, leaning, pretty much towards the issue of how we can make this county greater uh, than what it is right now. What we need to do, we need to heal. This county has been broken for many years. We have seen the government crumble over the years under his administration. And right now, we will need to come together, and we will need to work together to come up with a good healing process and a good plan of action to combat the issues that we are facing. And that's why, I am energized and enthused and excited for tomorrow. I am hopeful that all will go as the community wishes. But more than anything, I am ready to continue the fight and continue advocating for this community, and to gain the support of those people, who feel that they have been attacked, and who feel that they have been, basically a part of this negative campaign, as he says it, the judge. I think that, you know, this has never been about any one person. This has been about what we can do as a community to make things greater. And I think that right now we're on track, and we just need to continue where we are and cross that finish line tomorrow.
Awesome, awesome. Now, you were touching on something on the whole March 1st, and then what if all of a sudden March 2nd somebody gets hired? Well, that actually has happened in Salcedo's administration. We have a Shepherd Government Group, more specifically in 2018. We saw them all summer, campaigning, going with the judge door to door with Salcedo, door to door knocking. We've posted several pictures of them showing up, and through our record search, we saw that in a matter of a couple of months, they got a contract for $8,000 a month. Just got it extended for a third year. So I just thought that that was funny that you brought that up, which literally was the case with Shepherd Government Affairs. We saw that same type of case, and also in 2018 when we saw Gloria Hernandez, former county attorney, now turned special projects manager, where she went ahead and endorsed Judge Salcedo whenever he was her opponent. He was the third leg. She was the third leg in the race. Had to drop off. She went ahead and went to his camp, and all of a sudden, she's a special projects manager.
And what special projects has she done?
Um,
My case in point.
yeah.
And I'm not afraid to bring out things on Gloria Hernandez either. I mean, heck, Gloria's been hauling votes for David. I think that, it's people who I think are lazy and who want to get a check. And it's the best way to live off of the county and collect, funding, basically, because they're not doing anything. They're not accomplishing anything. And when you see that type of a situation, we all need to be aware. We all need to be truly versed on Maverick County politics and how people are, living right now, and how people are living off of Maverick County. It is as if it is you know, they are just basically sucking at the, and living off of it. And
Mhm.
it's disappointing, because those type of salaries, you know, people over in Loma Bonita, they'd appreciate another sheriff deputy to be out
Mhm.
there. And that's the type of salaries that we should be doing. People over in Quemado, I know that they've had the same thing. What can we do, to put a substation, closer to Normandy and Quemado? Or what can we do to address, the issues that are truly will make a difference and feel the safety in our community? Paying Gloria that amount doesn't make me feel safe. If anything, it makes me upset that we're paying people that amount of money not to do anything. But some people are just lucky, I guess, to collect those types of salaries and are not questionable in any way, shape, or form. It's not a personal issue on her. She's a public official. She gets paid with public funds. These are all issues that can definitely be brought out and can be discussed through open records, as you've brought it out. So I think that when you associate yourself with people like David,
Mm.
expect that type of backlash from this community, especially when you're not doing anything to gain that check. And there's other positions that are there. Whether you're looking at government, the Shepherd government, or God, what is their name? I don't even know what their name is because I don't.
Shepherd Government Affairs.
Shepherd Government Affairs, Obi Salinas, and what is that other guy's name? Uh,
Agustin Garcia.
Agustin. What's his last name?
Garcia.
Garcia. Yes, correct. Well, that'll tell you everything. I mean, you would think that we would know their names, right? If anything. Um, but those type of people that are hired, that individual is supposed to be serving as a grants coordinator or writer for certain issues. That person hasn't even done one grant for Maverick County. Explain life to me, as I'm used to saying. Explain life to me, please. Because at the end of the day, you've got people that are like that are cutting a check, and I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt that a portion of that check comes back to a campaign fund.
Hmm.
Think about it. Let's all talk about reality here, and let's talk about what we have seen in Maverick County politics. It is time to put this dog to bed. Let's just put it that way. It is time to put him to bed.
Mhm.
Let's send David off into retirement and let him enjoy, I don't know, a pack of double mint gum, because that's about all he's good for, is smacking his gum. We need to work at bringing people who will bring for this community. And if you're going to continue paying people like what we're seeing, these salaries that you've brought up, these individuals that you brought up, expect no change. Don't expect to get anything done with, drainage or sewage connections over off on Remington Road in Precinct 2, because as they promised you and it didn't happen because they ran out of money, it ain't going to happen. But yet they continue paying their buddies. Or, let's talk about major issues where people are afraid to go out into their neighborhoods at night because there's not sufficient lighting, and colonias are extremely dark, and safety issues, not only for safety concerns for crime to happen, but for someone to run over a child who's crossing a street or whatever it may be. We need to look at community wide, LED plans for lighting. I mean, things that will bring solutions to the daily life of our people. And that is where we need to be focusing. And unfortunately, it's all about the money. It's all about the money, honey.
Mhm.
I mean, if I had the dollar bills, I guess I could make it rain over
Yeah.
at Maverick County, because technically that is all that we see is our money going down the drain in investing in his people that all drive basically, your top of the line vehicles and Cadillac Escalades, and all of them being hauled in to vote with top of the line cars. Hey, if that's what you all want, then you have an opportunity to keep that. But if you want real change, I'm your guy. I'm the one that's going to come in and formulate a team and a plan of action to bring that change here to Maverick County.
Now, one of the things that we wanted to make sure we asked you was about the. I mean, I would call it unfair treatment by the media, and I think that specific. Well, I'll say two main medias out there that have been just trying to pick you apart, trying to uh go low. I think we've seen an all-time lowness that our local newspapers have hit in and it's funny, they it seems that they don't make an attempt to speak with you whatsoever. I mean, I know, um since we have you on the show, we made a, a chance to go meet or try to get, Salcedo on an interview with us. Unfortunately, it didn't go the way we planned. But how has the media played a role here, being as biased, taking personal attacks on you, and how are you able to, kind of take it in stride without taking the bait to, kind of lashing out? Because I mean, I'm sorry, you must have some thick skin to not,
It's I guess you can say that it's been 15 years in city politics and crossing over into county politics. I expected it. And I expected it because just like those media people that we're talking about who have tried to pick me apart, they've tried. They haven't
Mhm.
accomplished anything. I think, if anything, their lack of professionalism and their lack of true source is technically something that people don't respect. And if you compare me to a Abdon Horta or to a Vic Wheeler and Rex Macbeth for the news leader,
Mhm.
I'm not here to basically sit here and take anything from anyone. They can talk about me all they want, and I'm sure that they have. They obviously they have. You know, I can. I'll tell you that I'll be the first one to send them obviously a I'll be the first one to follow up with them and actually after this election and really have a sit down conversation, because I think that if anything they at least deserve that. But that what we do need to do is really have a sense of media that will work for the betterment of this community, that will work with journalistic, sense of investigative reporting on issues of how, we can truly get people to be more involved. I call basically those two tabloids. That's what they are. Talibanes is what Chad Foster basically called them. I'll go back into my mayoral days working with Chad. And I have no I work with everyone, but it's interesting at how, they seem to think that they're doing their candidate justice by doing that. If anything, it's only hurt him.
Hmm.
So I'm fine with it. You want to talk about me? Talk about me. You want to throw daisies at my feet? Throw daisies at my feet. Because believe me, I will rise further than
Uh,
all of them at any point. And I am truly not here to cover any topic on, what they have assumed, alleged, and talked about. I'm here to do a job, and I'm here to bring an option to this community and to make sure that this community knows that we don't have to put up with this sense of unprofessionalism, with this sense of cronyism, and with this sense of pretty much, I'll just call them narcs, because that's what I think that they are.
hmm.
That is exactly what they are. That's how they work. They go and they hang banners, out there, like the way they do it in Mexico, where I was like, they kind of, people laughed at the banner, that he hung in front of the multi-purpose over driving to go vote. And they're like, nombre, ya tenemos narcomantas, out here at Maverick County, elections. I mean, it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Base yourself with some real facts. Base yourself with something that people can truly make a decision based on. But when you turn around and you see those types of reportings, of people who are out there, I don't you have I don't even I never kept count of what he paid Abdon Horta for this campaign, but I never once paid Abdon Horta for anything. I never once have paid Abdon Horta in previous campaigns because I don't believe in his newspaper. I don't believe that his paper provides anything that is of substance for this community. And I don't think that any of us should be supportive of anything that initiates hate in this community, or that anything that will provide that type of abuse to people in this area. But that's how he works. He tries to go after you, and he tries to start, to basically just start hitting you in ways that will be, to try to hit you in a corner and put you in a corner to where he'll get you to pay him. Well,
Mm.
I've never paid him, and I never will. And Abdon Horta, that's nor here nor there. It's a waste of my time to be even talking about the man. I think we have better things to be talking about than him, than the news leader, than any of them. All those people are paid off. They're bought. Bought media is what it is. They talk about fake news. They're the fake news. They are the individuals who have worked out ways to come up with fake lies, that are out there talking about, I mean, things about me wanting to defund the police. How? I'm trying to deal with issues that in Maverick County, we have no police. It's been defunded technically under David Saucedo because there
Mhm.
is no policing. People, let's wake up. Let's realize what we are seeing right now in Maverick County. There is nothing. And that's the sad part, you know? But it's reality. It's reality.
No,
I don't know how
absolutely.
much they've been paid.
It was from our record that we picked up from the first campaign finance report from Salcedo. It was 3,000, and
To Latino.
Latino, yes, and
Wow.
that's a pretty big. I mean,
That's
I've
a
never
pretty good that's a pretty good chunk of change for a publication that only throws out about 300 papers.
only 300.
Well, I
Wow.
mean, I remember back when we were looking at issues, they didn't have their publications. But you see, he has his little social media stent, and that's exactly what they have. And they try to do their whole thing. Yet, they say that you're not a media issue because you don't have a paper or something like that. But yet, Abdon seems to be working all of his stuff off of his social media. And whatever Papi David tells him is what he's going to wind up doing.
Mhm.
So let him do it. Today, as a matter of fact, I saw Abdon walking out of the courthouse. I wished him luck on the election. I hope that, everything goes well for him. And I won't, it is what it is. And I'm sure that, and he'll know that I said that because it's true. But we need to focus on getting people that are for this community, that are
Mhm.
not for themselves. It just needs to stop. It's unfortunate, but it needs to stop. And I hope that people will will realize that and will make that change tomorrow.
Absolutely. So we are, I mean, hours away, right? From a couple of hours away from how are you feeling? Like what's going through your head right now? Or has the nervousness or anything like that hit you yet? Or uh,
No, this morning, it's been a really busy day because we had been working a lot on, making sure that we had outreach to voters. There had been a lot of phone calls. There were still visiting with people. There was two small events that we had to deal with in some of the colonias. And I feel great. I feel great. And I feel, that we just need to continue to push until the very last second. We have to make sure that we try to reach every voter as we possibly can. We need to reach out to every individual to know that there's a huge importance in this election and what we can do to make sure that there is change that comes to Maverick County. But there's always going to be that little kind of like butterfly in your stomach type of thing feeling. But I'm glad that we are on the right track. The community is ready to do everything that is necessary, I think, to make that change here in Maverick County. But more than anything, we're ready to actually see that change happen. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to see that history that is so desperately wanted in Maverick County right now.
any election night eve rituals that you do, any type of routines? Because I know you've gone
Mhm.
through a couple of elections, right? So is there any kind of ritual routine that you normally partake in the night before elections?
You know, um,
Superstition, anything like that?
well, no, it's always been I've always been an individual who has been very strong in faith. Um, I think that my faith is what has kept me grounded over the years. My faith is what has actually kept me sane during diverse times like what we have seen in this election, what we have had to go through with, the attacks and the issues that my opponent has gone out on. And I really, the night before the election, I just take some time to One, of course, thank God for the people whom He has surrounded me with, the people who have been the individuals who have worked hard to get our message across to the voters of this community. And more than anything, I take that evening. It's hard for me to sleep. I probably get maybe about 2 hours of sleep before election day. So that night, I take a lot of time. Just basically, I'm one of those people that want to go into complete darkness, into a room, not even a lamp or anything, and I think about a lot of things, and I just basically, it's a time for me to meditate and for just to give thanks, because basically, in this race particularly, I am most grateful to the team that has done an exceptional job, and they have worked hard. We have all worked hard, and if I were to sit here and name everybody that has worked hard, it would be a long, long list of people, but they are the reason that Maverick County will change. And they are the group of people that will definitely, give me the energy to get through tomorrow and to make sure that, we are ready to bring that change to our county. Above all, I thank, my family, because they are the ones that at the end of the day are the ones that actually we're together as a family, and have to go through this. And I thank, of course, my sister, because Kimberly has been an individual who throughout every election has been by my side. My mother, my father, they have been extreme supporters. This morning, my mother was very clear, as I went and saw her today. She just made it very clear to me. She just said, son, just make a promise to me. She just said, she goes, dale en toda todo, eh? And she's like, go for it and do this one for the people of Maverick County. And that is, the reason why, I fight. I fight for people who have been left out for many years. I fight for people who have fought for me, and I fight for people who deserve to be fought for. And we all need to have those people in our corner in order to make sure that we bring an opportunity of a new Maverick County, a new day that will hopefully dawn on March 2nd.
Well, that's what we look forward to, right? As a
We
community and
all
as
should be
Maverick
looking forward
County.
to it. And we all should be making sure that we go out and vote, because that's the only way that this is going to happen. This is about making sure that people are working hard, even in the the day to day, and what as they have during early voting, that people will go out tomorrow and they will go out in drives, because we need to make sure that you know nobody stays at home tomorrow. Nadie debe estar confiado en esta elección. You know, I am at peace because I know that we've worked hard. And I've always told people, when you work hard, good things come.
Mhm.
And we have worked very hard in this election to send a very strong message. I think that of all my elections, this has been the one that I have worked the hardest in, and it has been to make sure that our message was put sent across. I have, there's been days that, they started sometimes at 5:45 in the morning, and, I'm ending them at 1 in the morning, with just a couple of hours to sleep. But nonetheless, I've done it because we need to. I've done it because you have to sacrifice something in order to get something good. And I have sacrificed my time. I have sacrificed, my family. I have sacrificed, my friends, myself in all ways, because I have dedicated myself to this campaign. I left my position with the state in order to come and campaign at full force, because I believe that this county deserves a better leader. And the only way that we're going to do that is when you see people who are full time committed to the operation and to bring that change. And so we cannot take anything for granted. We all need to make it out there. We all need to, be part of the change that will come to Maverick County.
I agree. I agree. So, guys, if you haven't voted yet, please get out there tomorrow. The polls will be open in different locations. We'll post that up for you tonight. From what time to what time is it running, Ramsey?
Tomorrow, the election will start at 7 a.m. and will end at 7 p.m. There are approximately 15, I believe, voting sites that we are looking at.
Oh,
I can run down those precinct polls just so that we can make sure that everybody is fully aware. But we are looking at approximately the precincts that are broken down. This is for precinct 1A and 1B. You'll be voting at Salon de Colores, which is there on William Street next to Sacred Heart Church. 1C will be voting at Memorial Junior High. 1D will be at Salon Perfecto Socorro on Alamo Street. That's in Chula Vista. You have Precinct 2A, which is at San Luis Elementary in the cafeteria. 2B at Radar Elementary. That's in the gymnasium. 2C at Rosita Valley Elementary in the gymnasium. 2D, which is Alindio, Texas, which is it will be held at the community center. The International Center for Trade will be hosted. That's a new voting site for areas that are considered to be 2E. Those are areas that are near the 57 Heights location, the Christina Parkway area next to CC Wynn, and all of Bob Rogers, that area, if you're registered to vote in any of one of those three sectors, or the homes that are right in front of the Tractor Supply location. That is a new portion of Precinct 2 that was incorporated. And those areas have now been divided into a new precinct poll, which is at the International Center for Trade. 3A is going to be at Glass Elementary in the gymnasium. 3B, which will be in Seco Mines Elementary. 3C is in Quemado at the community center. 4A will be at the Maverick County Courthouse. 4B will be at the Eagle Pass High School Girls Gymnasium. 4C will be at the St. Joseph Parish Hall, and 4D will be at the old Eagle Pass Independent School District Central Office in the boardroom. That's located on Eitzen Road. So those are the locations that are available for individuals to go out and vote. Know that the multipurpose center is no longer open for voting. This is strictly the precinct polls that are open. So we encourage you to go out and vote and to be the change that you want to happen in Maverick County. Every vote matters. Know that we had the last election for county judge was barely won by 12 votes. So every single vote matters. Do not take anything for granted. If you want change, you get in that car, you call your comadre, you call us if you want. We'll make sure that you get to the polls in any way, shape, or form. Please feel free to give me a call, 830-513-7321. You can call me directly, and we'll make sure that people can stop by and pick you up and give you a ride to the polls if you wish. It is important for the residents of this community to come out and vote. If we don't vote, then we don't have a right to complain. I've always said that, we all have to be part of the process. We have to be part of the democracy. And more than anything, we all have to make sure that our voices are heard here in Maverick County.
yeah. I mean, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. And I think the community, I mean, just gauging by the comments that we're getting in, and I mean, it's looking pretty good. And we wish you nothing but the best of luck. And not only in the campaign, in the election that's coming up tomorrow, but also the 4 years that you'll be serving afterwards when you win, as you say it.
That's right.
But no, yeah, we wish you luck out there, Ramsey, and we know that you've been. We've seen you around. We've seen you dedicated and putting everything you got into this race. So I mean, we really, sincerely wish you luck, and we'll be out there, when the results come out at the courthouse to hopefully follow you up with a victory interview.
Definitely, God willing, we'll be available. We'll be here tomorrow. Like I said, let's make sure that first we get everybody out to vote and get all of our election day voters. I used to be one of those election day voters that would always wait until the very last second, but I've kind of slowly but surely turned into an early vote type of guy. Want to get it out of the way and make sure that it's already in. But I respect, of course, all those people who come out and vote on election day and give their all to basically make sure that that their voices is heard in this process. So I thank you all very much, for the time that, y'all have given us. I don't know how we are on time, but I truly appreciate that people have responded very well.
Mhm.
They have definitely accepted the campaign very well, and I thank everyone in this community for being part of this great, wonderful experience for me, for our team, and for this community. I believe that we are ready to heal, and I believe that we are ready to bring what is needed to make Maverick County that border county that our state and federal government can respect, and
Mhm.
bring a sense of new opportunities with state and federal funding, opportunities for growth, for development, and more than anything, you know, just making sure that we can keep on doing all that we can to bring change. So I'm honored. I appreciate everyone's support, and know that, just as there are people who support us, there are people that don't. I also, respect, you all very much. That is crucial for me, because we need to heal after all of this is done. It's been a long, drawn out campaign. It has been a campaign based on a lot of negativity, but nonetheless, I know that once this is over with tomorrow, we will do everything possible to make sure that we can get our people together, and that we will all rally to make sure that we can bring a sense of change, a sense of growth, and a sense of opportunity, golden opportunity for this community. And I'm ready for that. And I hope that you all are too.
All right, that sounds awesome. Well, we thank you again one more time. As you know, we couldn't get an interview with the other candidates, so we really appreciate that. We wish you good luck, and we hope you could get some sleep tonight.
We're going to try.
All
Thank you all very much. And I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much,
right,
Isaac.
thank you. You have a good one, guys. So we brought you Ramsey English Cantu again, guys. It is the day. It is election night tomorrow. Guys, get out there, go vote. I think I saw a comment come by right now that said, it doesn't matter who you vote for, just go vote. That is the moral of the story. That is the goal. That is the objective. Get out there, make your voice heard, no matter what side you're rooting for, right? That's all we have for you today. We wanted to have the opportunity, and we thank again Ramsey's camp for letting us interview him the day before election, guys. So it's here. If you haven't voted yet, again, Ramsey went down the line on the different locations. So go ahead and make sure that you are at the right location to vote. That's very important. And go out there and vote for who you think is going to make our community better, not just for you, but also our kids. Thank you very much. We appreciate your support and appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. This was the Rising Texan podcast with Isaac Ruiz.